friend of the deceased, Ilham Osman, could not control her emotions. She has been recounting the last interaction she had with her best friend.
We were very close, you see. I'm born on the 13th of October and she was born on the 31st of October. So we were so close. The last time I even saw her was on Saturday, last week Saturday. And she was making fun of me that she has completed school and I'm now going to start. And before she left, I hit her and she was like, Ilham, I won't mind you. I'll catch you next week. So she was like, Ilham, I won't mind you next week. I'll see you next week. But that's the last time I saw her. But the day before she died, I was chatting with her on WhatsApp. So then yesterday I was there and my cousin called me and she was like, have you heard what happened? She said Mariam has passed away. And I even insulted her and I cut the call and she was calling again. No, at that same time someone called my stand, the person was telling me Mariam has passed away. Then the person sent her a picture.
I am back on the Medina Adenta highway where I've met the father of an 8-year-old boy who was knocked down by a vehicle on Wednesday. He says the spontaneous protest on Thursday is just a curtain raiser. Together with other aggrieved residents, they vowed to burn more ties and block the highway during their planned peace walk on Monday.
3 days on Kasaye. Can't bonity into doctors found say we're losing the memory.
Is unable to speak because he suffered very serious injuries from the crash.
Ties ne dey be me ma paki bebre agufie. Enti ties ne dey wo mu 10 dey demonstration dey be course from Monday going no. From Monday going no. E be sin dey andro esi. Sandro dey yamprane.
Well, even as he speaks, he's getting backing from a lot of the residents who are gathered here. He's saying that on Monday, November 12th, they are going to burn more ties. He says what happened here yesterday was just a curtain raiser of what is to happen on the 12th.
I'm trying to tell them that the president says we should be citizens and not spectators. So now we are citizens. We are going to, Monday is massive. Yesterday wasn't planned. Monday is massive. Monday will be very, very massive.
Does it look like if you don't demonstrate, nobody listens to you?
We are in Ghana and that's what they have been doing. So we take action, nothing will happen. Do we still have road minister in this country, transport minister? Are we serious as a Ghanaian? So we block this road, we bend the car, ties, nothing will be done. Are we serious as a country? We have been paying them with taxpayers' money, isn't it? All in the name of none of their daughter or their son will come and cross and car will knock them down. They are always in a VA, going up and down. Look, any minister or any MP, he or she shouldn't try coming here because we can't guarantee their safety.
It's just hours after the protest on the Medina Adenta highway by residents of Adenta. Well, if you come here, the entire stretch here is covered in soot, and then you can still find the debris of the burnt ties on the road. It's a busy place today as the police is maintaining a heavy, presence here on this particular highway. They are helping and assisting people who are crossing the roads. You'll find them at various intersections here. We are happy. We've been joined by the Director of Public Relations of the Ghana Police Service, ACP David Oklu.
We are going to run 3 shifts. The first in the afternoon, and if it is possible, night shift to make sure that we ensure the safety of motorists and pedestrians around this area. For as you can say, as you rightly said, yes, officers are deployed here.
And my colleague Max Obagwa filed that report. I want to take you live now to Adenta. My colleague Komla Dom has returned to the scene of yesterday's riots and is on the phone with me. Komla, you were at the cemetery earlier today. What can you report?
Evans, it was a very somber atmosphere at the cemetery, Medina Social Welfare. Scores of family, relatives, well-wishers, students of West Africa Senior High School were there to see the final funeral rites for the late Miriam, who was killed in that road crash yesterday. And Islamic clerics led the session, and they prayed for the repose of the soul of Miriam, and they say that this should be a point of contact and this should signify a change, and that no individual should lose their life under such circumstances, because through the death of Miriam, they've got authorities to to promise and to commit to fixing the footbridges on the stretch, Evan. So it was a very somber atmosphere, and how Islam do their activities. It was brief, it was straight to the point, and it was somber.
And what is the family saying? And what you just was just linked there is the tears from the mother who has been speaking to us today as well. Kamla, you've been speaking to the family. What have they been saying about Mariama? Hello, Kamla.
Evans?
Yes, you've been speaking to the family. What have they been saying about the daughter they've lost?
They've been describing her as a gentle individual who was studious, who was committed to her academic work, who was very ambitious in her determination to be somebody in future. They say they've lost a jewel in Miriam, and for now they are unable to quantify the loss that they have had at the moment following the passing of Miriam. But they know and hope that the death of Miriam will not bring to many of the residents and students and friends and close associates with her sorrow, but in fact will bring to them some satisfaction that from this incident there will be no more knockdowns on the street, and will be the saving grace for many of the residents living in and around Adenta.
And Kamla, I know that today the roads minister has been to the scene of the accident. Of course, the accident yesterday that led to the death of the young girl. What has he been saying?
Well, Evans, the Roads and Highways Minister Kufu Amakwata mentioned that 6 different contractors from next week are going to be moving block to the Adenta Medina Highway to begin work on the footbridges immediately. And this, he said, was as a result of the knockdown yesterday and as a directive from President Tekufado himself to ensure that the footbridges are completed immediately as soon as possible. He mentioned that he knows that it will take a while for all the footbridges, 6 of them at least on the stretch, to be fully completed, but he believes that the contractors who are moving in on block will fast-track the processes to ensure that the footbridges who have access route for pedestrians to be able to use the stretch, and in 4 months, all of them will be ready for use.
6 different contractors are going to work on these bridges. Okay, each contractor will tackle one footbridge because time is of essence now. And like I said, within 3 months, maximum 4 months, by end of February, all these footbridges will be in place. And after that, we will do whatever is expected to be done. The bridges will be in place, and we will have to also carry out intensive education. That's why the colleague ministers are working together. But during the interim, we are going to work closely with the police, to ensure that safety is heightened on this stretch of the road. Whatever will have to be provided in a form of road furniture is going to be provided. And you have been briefed by my colleague ministers, Minister for Transport, Minister for Interior. That's why we work together. That's why we have the interministerial committee made up of roads and highways, transport and interior to ensure maximum safety. We work together and we continue to work together, and all interim arrangements are going to be made. Coming from my ministry, the Ministry of Transport and Interior, and the police is here, the IGP himself is here.
What other road furniture are you going to include so that to augment this?
We are going to provide some temporary ramps. We are going to provide, side crash barriers. We are even going to provide some new jersey barriers, and with all this in place, the police will ensure that until the footbridges come to completion, people are aided to cross the road, successfully.
Roads and Highways Minister there. Kamla is still with me on the line. Kamla, he was there, and as he just said himself, with a host of other ministers, including the Interior Minister. We know yesterday the police came under some pressure and were criticized for the high-handed nature they dealt with some of the protesters. He's been responding to that, has he not?
That's correct, Evans. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry has been responding, because we know for now that many individuals sustained injuries from receiving gunshots and also the firing of tear gas and, using of whips and canes by the police to disperse the crowd of residents who had gathered along the stretch. The Interior Minister Muzeri, has had some, remorseful words for the people who sustained injuries.
I express our regret for the loss of lives, one life too many, and also to thank you, the media, members of the media. You've kept us abreast of what is happening. We want you to continue to play a role in the good work you are doing. I think the police came here yesterday and they were able to bring matters under control. The police are supposed to help us in every situation. I appeal to all civilians, to all citizens, to cooperate with the police. They are not our enemies. They came here after a disaster and all they wanted to do was to create an atmosphere so that there will be free movement and road users will feel safe. They are our friends. So they are going to be here over the next few weeks to make sure that they continue to do the work that they have been trained for and they have done so well. And I would appeal to all of you that you can express your dissent, but if you are going to do so, please consult the police and only act when the police allow you. What I can assure you is the police will be here to make sure they maintain law and order so that all of you can go about your work, cooperate with them.
What's your assessment of what happened, the police handling of the matter yesterday? What's your general assessment?
People say the call time was very smooth.
My general opinion is that it was generally well handled because the event took place before they got here. And when they got here, ties were burning and the situation was out of control. So what they tried to do was to bring order. And they were being stoned. They were throwing stones at them and, sticks and all that. It was live on JoyFM. I was hearing it. It's not a police report. But the police have gone around to find out if any people have been hurt. And they are still doing so. And so the police did what they had to do yesterday. And today, they are here with you. As far as we are concerned, if you have any instances of excesses, let us know. We'll deal with the police. But thus far, the police have been able to do what they did with the minimum force that they could use. But we are hoping that there will be no need for the use of force. And the police are on your side.
The Transport Minister was also there. Komla, what did he address the other side of the question, which is the behavior of pedestrians themselves?
Yes, that's correct, Evan. The Transport Minister mentioned he had some caution essentially for road users and pedestrians. He mentioned that it is a highway, yes, and so users of the highway must be cautious and must also take note that it is a highway. So, for example, drivers who are using the stretch should also be cautious while driving on the highway. Also, those who want to cross, that's commuters, pedestrians who want to cross the road, should be extra vigilant because vehicles are always going to speed on the highway anyway, and so it is the duty of the pedestrians who are expected to cross the road to be extra double careful before they do that.
This is a situation where all of us as Ghanaians should begin to put our heads together and let's find a lasting solution to it. This is not the time for us to apportion blame, but it's a time for us that going forward, what do we do? Let me first and foremost caution, a word of caution to everybody that road safety is very important. So we should be careful about our life. We should be careful about our life. You must first of all consider that your life is very important too. The road minister is here. He will say the government is putting in place concrete measures to have the problem fixed. But the most important thing that can protect anybody's life is yourself. And please, through your medium, I want to appeal to everybody that let us remain calm. Road safety is a shared responsibility. Let all of us play our part, and I'm sure that everybody will be fine. Please, let us not try to exacerbate the anger of the people. It's unfortunate that we have this situation. Let's try to come out. Let's try to say things that will encourage our people, that the government is indeed coming out with policy. Like the road minister just said, that the contractor is moving on site from Monday going. It means that government is very serious about it.
And Kamala, last night by this time, you were in the thick of things covering the riots. You're there right now. We've heard about a series of measures that had been rolled out, including proper police visibility to help pedestrians. What can I report in terms of what you can verify and what you can see?
Evan, so I can count as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 policemen at the moment who are standing not too far away from the footbridge, which played host to the burning of the car tires last night, and they are helping people cross the road from one side to the other, women, children, the elderly, and all other road users. And it is a temporary traffic jam on that stretch at the moment because those who use the Medina Adenta stretch know that around this time it is a slow-moving traffic because, everybody is moving away from the bustle of the city. And so police are helping. They stop after every movement of at least 5 vehicles. They stop the vehicles, allow the people to cross. Then they usher the vehicles to move back on. So that is the situation right now. The police are here. They are looking to ensure that the pedestrians and road crossers and road users are, moving from one side of the road to the other side in good order, Evans.
Komla, thank you very much. And the president of the land, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo himself, has today issued a statement on his Facebook, or I believe Joseph has that. Joseph, what has the president been saying?
So it's a 3-paragraph statement. He says, I express my deep condolences to the family of the student who lost her life yesterday at Adenta after being knocked down by a taxi as she attempted crossing on the road on her way from school. Our nation has suffered an unnecessary loss, he describes it. The scenes that played out in its aftermath are regrettable and should not happen again. He goes on to say the Ministry of Roads and Highways is working, and they are beginning work on the completion of the bridges in the course of the coming week, and has put together a comprehensive plan to address systematically all these infrastructural problems, which are legacies of a past decade of neglect. He describes them. He goes on then to advise drivers on the roads and says he would want to urge drivers and pedestrians to obey and respect the laws on our roads. All of us, government and the citizenry, have a collective responsibility to safeguard and preserve life. My condolences once again to the family, signed by the president on the 9th, on 09/11/2018.
This is also some members of parliament to the UN Parliament have also been talking about this.
So the roads minister himself was in the house.
Oh, he was?
Yes, except that he came to address issues having to do with some other roads, including the road in Elubo. The issue of the Adenta road itself was not on the table for discussion, so that didn't come up. But MPs generally have been commenting on it. There's, for example, a recommendation from some members on the Roads and Transport Committee that the Adenta-Madina Highway should be redesignated from its current status as a highway to an urban road, so that then the speed limit can be brought down so drivers would be cautioned and all. And the Government Assurances Committee, they've also waded into the conversation. The chairman of the committee, the MP from Mansour Dubia, has put out the caution that they are closely monitoring the timelines that the ministers have given, that work on the footbridges would begin and they would hold them to account when it comes to what will happen subsequently.
The Convention People's Party has a statement as well.
The statement from them, signed by the Acting General Secretary, James Kobna Bonfe, mainly deals with the entire topic, but it's very heavy on how the police handle this issue, and they are making some recommendations on that. Apart from expressing sympathies, they make the point that they witness incidents that suggest that the IGP, the BNI, the National Security, and the entire intelligence community seem to be sleeping on their job, or that they are ill-equipped by the executive to handle some of these issues. They also say they condemn in very strong terms the police brutalities that followed the demonstration by the people of the area in protest of the lack of footbridges. They say, we demand that answers are provided by the managers of our security outfit for the poor and unprofessional handling of the situation at hand. They're also making a call on Parliament that it's dominated by the NDC and the MPP. They need to set up, the CPP says they are complicit in how come we're seeing these deaths happen.
Okay. Joseph, thank you very much. Let's speak to the chairman of the Fix Our Foot Bridges campaign, Nana Mpoma. Hello, Nana. Thank you for your time here on Top Story. We just heard from the roads minister that the footbridges will be fixed in 3 months and it's starting immediately. What's the reaction of the campaign to the developments today?
Good evening, Evans. Good evening to your listeners. The road minister came to the neighborhood. The IGP came. Various leaders have been around. This evening, I have been told that the street lights are on, indicating that they have heard our plea and then some things are being done. Currently, as I speak to you, the executives of the Fix Our Footbridges now are in a serious meeting. We will issue a statement in due course.
What about the protest that you had planned for Monday?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that leadership had various meetings today with police officers and all that. So there's a meeting that has been convened now. Very soon, we will communicate officially our position on whatever has transpired.
But so far, happy with the response you've received?
Exactly. That's what we expected. That's what we wanted them to do all this while. So now that at least the lights have been on, street lights, we are expecting that the traffic lights will also come. The minister has promised that the footbridges, they've given it to various contractors and it will be done very soon. So we are considering that we have had communication with a few people, and then the leadership in the meeting will come out officially.
Great, and thank you very much, Nana Poma, and join us on Ghana Connect, because we're going to expand the conversation. We're going to have many voices speaking to this. It has been done now. Now the minister is there with a host of others, and clearly something is being done urgently to fix the problem. But did he have to take all these lives to get here? How can we get government to be more proactive than reactive? We'll be delving into that if you join us on Ghana Connect. Stay with us. Well, unfortunately, we're having some technical challenges with our system here, and nothing seemed to be going on air from what we were playing in the background. And so we'll see if we can get this fixed as soon as possible, so we can hear the commercial blocks that we need to play at 6. Of course, Ghana Connect comes your way.
Hello, this is Morris, and I say keep on listening to JoyFM 99.7 FM. Financial services, providing affliction, support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services. Your success of our show.